Hey Miss Mamas, and welcome to my Back to the Basics series. In the last episode, we learned how to apply our foundation. Now let's add some dimension. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to highlight and contour to bring out your best features. Let's get into it. I know this step can be a little intimidating, but let me tell you, highlighting and contouring is going to be your secret weapons to really bring a dimension and life back into your makeup. Now keep in mind, this step can be optional and applied for like special occasions, because I know for some girls, highlighting and contouring might be a little bit too heavy for an everyday look. Now we already did our foundation, so it looks like we just have one smooth blank canvas. But if you look at your face without any foundation or concealer, you'll be able to see those natural shades in your face. By contouring, we're going to add those shades back into our face and also kind of elevate and give us more of a sculpted look. So when contouring, I love to use the Fenty Beauty matchsticks, and I like to use the shade Espresso. And I absolutely love this product because even though it's a cream contour stick, once it dries down, it's going to give you more of a powder finish, and it's going to look so natural. Riri did her big one with this product because let me tell you, it's not too muddy, it's not too red, the shade is just right. Now when applying this product, you want to make sure that you're putting this on the hollows of your cheek. If you're watching this video or if you're looking in the mirror and you're like, I don't know, what is she talking about? Try to use the top of your ear as a guide, right? So if I point my finger on the top of my ear and I just keep going it down, this little bone right here, you see that? You see that? That's where you want to place your product, okay? And I can see the hollowness. I keep saying Holly. The hollowness in my face myself. But for those who feel like I'm just not seeing it, use the top of your ear as a guide. So I'm going to show you how to use the top of your ear as a beginner. You see how I have this product, boom, right? I'm not touching my ear really, but I just have it here, and I'm like, go down a little, and I'm going to place it right there. Bloop. That's it. Bloop. Right there. And the brush that I like to use to blend out my contour is my Real Techniques brush in number 200. And as you can see, it's already kind of like dome shaped, but it's dense but not too dense. And we're going to use that same pressing motion just like we did with our foundation brush with this brush as well. So you see where I just place that product, it just looks like it's one little line. When you take your what number is this, number 200 brush, you just want to blend that in place, and I'm just going to keep stamping it until it blends out. See that? Now that's going to give me a good little guide. That's another thing I really like about this matchstick, is that you can build on the coverage without it looking like somebody just punched you in your face. So now that I already have my little guide, I kind of want to just flick some upward, never downward, because we don't want you want to sculpt the face. We don't want to be looking all droopy, okay? So where I already placed that product, I'm just going to go right on top of it again and kind of flick some upward just to kind of create more dimension. And again, I'm just stamping that on in place. You don't want to move this product, you just want to stamp it in place so that it looks nice and natural. And you see how just sculpted that looks, like this side versus this side? I know you see it, girl, I know you see it. So you just want to keep stamping this until it's to your desired look. I think that looks good. So once I do my cheek, I do like to add some to my temples as well. So I might just go bloop, one little line right on the temple. You're going to take that same 200 brush and stamp her in place as well. But when you're stamping this, you want to kind of blend it up into the hairline because you want it to look as natural as possible. And when I'm doing that, I'm pressing. I'm not like swiping it. I'm also pressing it. So once I press that in place, you could just press that brush up into your hair so that it just looks seamless. Now once you do your cheek and your temples, you can also contour the side of your nose to add some dimension too. Now you can either place the product closer to each other to give you a super snatch look. I like to just place it just a little on my nose because my nose is already small, so I'm not trying to make it appear smaller. I'm just more so just trying to bring that dimension back into my face. Now, I'm going to be honest, when doing your nose, it's going to take a lot of practice. You're going to have some moments where you mess up. It's going to look like you broke your nose. You just want to make sure that you practice and you're doing a little bit at a time. So instead of directly placing the product on my face out of the tube, I'm going to go and pick that same number 210 brush from our foundation video where we applied the foundation under our eyes just to kind of cover the hyperpigmentation. We just want to clean that off on the paper towel, wipe her off, and we're going to use some of that, and I'm going to put it right on the tip of the brush like so. And you could place this on the side of your nose. Now, what I like to use as a guide is the front of my brow. So what you can do is take that product from the front of your brow and just, and I just did that without looking in the mirror. Put that right on the side. Now I know that look crazy, but this is what we're gonna do. Take our paper towel, wipe off all of that product so that it's really not any on your brush, and we're just going to push that in and blend that out. See that? Let me do the other side. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more product. And let's say you don't want to start from the brow, you can just start right on the side. So I'm looking because I don't want to put it too close to the side, but I mean in the middle. But you see, you can start it even right here, up and down, boom, and then you can flick it up to go into the brow. So you can do it either way. You want to leave that little bridge open because that's where you're going to put your concealer. Now, let's say you don't want to use the product directly on your face because you feel like when you're making marks, it just looks crazy. You can actually just take your brush and put some of that product on like so. And then right on that bone, even if you move your lips over, you can see the hollowness of your face. You can do that and just stamp it. Boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Stamp, 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 stamp. And you see that? It's literally that easy. Now, to my girlies who want to cinch in that chin, you can do the same thing. You can make you a mark like so, right on that chin. And when you're blending it, make sure you blend down. This is when you blend down, when you get to that chin. But when you're up on that cheek, blend up, okay? So you want to blend down just so that your chin just appears smaller and more snatched. And the same thing, you don't have to use it directly on your face. You can just use your brush and just stamp right up under that chin. See that? Boop, boop. Now let's highlight. Alright, now when highlighting, you want to use a lighter shade to bring your features forward. Now, remember in the last episode when I told you to ditch the color correctors and use a concealer that's your skin tone shade? That's going to be helpful for highlighting. Now, when you're shopping for your concealer colors at Sephora or Ulta or wherever you like to shop, you want to make sure that when you start at your shade, that you're only counting 1 to 2 shades down to highlight. So for example, in the last video, to cover my blemishes and hyperpigmentation, I used the shade Chestnut because I feel like that shade is closer to my skin tone. So when I highlight, I like to either use Maple or Butterscotch from the same brand. Now Maple is 1 shade lighter and Butterscotch is 2 shades lighter. So I'm going to use Butterscotch because I want to, girl. Now when applying your concealer, you can for sure do it directly out of the tube and on your face. But if you want to be more strategic with your placement, I do recommend using your brush. So we're going to use that same 210 brush again. This is why I say keep you a glove or a paper towel nearby, because girl, reuse your brushes throughout your makeup process. Don't be wasting it and having a whole bunch of brushes everywhere. So you can either put this on the back of your hand or take it directly off of the applicator, but I just want to show you guys. Actually, let me put some on the back of my hand, because I just want to show you why placement is key when it comes to highlighting. So using that same technique we used in the last episode, we're gonna do that again with highlighting. So I'm taking that same 210 brush, but this time I'm using the shade Butterscotch, and I'm just gonna top her up under my eye. And remember, we're tapping, we're not swiping, painting, we're not doing that. We're just tapping. And when you're highlighting, you want to make sure you're getting this under your eye, and you want to kind of bring that down to your cheek. You can either, oops, my little lash falling, get right up under the end of your eye and bring that concealer upward to snatch your face up even more. But you see how the placement already looks flawless, like it already looks flawless on the skin. And this is because I'm being strategic about where I'm tapping my product. Even when we get to the center of the nose, just gonna take a little of that and just add a little there. And if you feel like you put your concealer too thick, just take your finger, girl, and just clean that up. Boop, boop, like so. I'm not going to put too much on Pimple Isha, but you can also kind of put some right on the center of the forehead to kind of bring that forward. Now, if you feel like you got a 5 head, you can skip this part, okay? You ain't got to feel like you want to make your forehead bigger. And then I'm also going to put some right on the center of my chin. And if you really want to elevate your brows, you can put some right on the brow bone. But don't worry, y'all, I'm going to teach y'all how to do y'all brows too. You can put some right here as well. And these are the areas that you want to highlight. So under your eye and that cheek area, the bridge of your nose, the center of your forehead, and your chin. Let me do this other side real quick so I don't look so crazy on camera. Now this part is optional, but I like to add some of my highlighter shade here too. I like to put some above my top lip as well. I like to put some on that whole area. I feel like it just makes my lips pop out more and look real bubblicious. So boom, once you got your contour and your highlight on, you want to go ahead and only blend out the edges. That's key to keeping your highlight and contour flawless. Where you put majority of your product, you want that to dry down and stay. If you have the time, let it dry down for a couple of minutes. Let me tell you, the longer you let it dry down before setting it, the better. But if you don't have time, that's okay. Just make sure you're not moving all of that product around, because then it's just going to look streaky, it's going to crease, it's just not going to look good. You only want to blend out the edges. And when I do that, I like to go in with my Real Techniques brush in number 402. And what I like to do is just only blend out the edges where the highlighter meets the contour, so that it looks seamless. You see that? And again, I'm pressing. We're pressing in. Do, do, do. We're not swipe, swipe, swiping. We're press, press, pressing. Same on this side. See that? Let's get that forehead. We're doing the edges. The edges. The chin, the chin. And then even when you get to the nose, tap that in, because you don't want to move the placement of that. Now once you let your concealer dry down some, you can take your brush and continue tapping that in further so that you're taking the shininess away before you're setting it with your powder. What I mean by that is you're just pressing that product in where it already is. We're not moving it, we're just pressing it in. When you get up under your eyes, you want to make sure you're looking up when you're pressing in. Up and over. And boom, girl, you just highlighted and contoured your face. Now at this point you can go ahead and start setting, but I do like to do my blush before I set, and I'm sorry but I'm gonna have to save that for the next episode. But the key takeaway I want you guys to take away from this video is to remember, when you're contouring, you want to use a darker shade to add those shadows and recede certain features from your face, and then when you're highlighting, you want to bring certain features forward. Also, don't use a highlighter shade that's too light because you can look like Casper, and we don't want to give him or her. Is Casper a girl or a boy? I don't know. But make sure you're using only 1 to 2 shades lighter. Anything lighter, girl, that's on you. But you ain't get that advice from me. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that like button, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss episode 4, where we're going to get into blush and actually setting everything into place. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this one. Bye.